One of the things I want to draw your attention is the three criteria and what parts actually relate to it. So what we've got here is knowing and understanding the law. Define and describe the facts using the legal terminology, explain the legal concepts and processes, and communicate meaning using the language conventions. When I have a look at this middle part here, explaining the legal concepts and processes. So if we're looking at identity theft, effectively, we look in the Criminal Code of 1899 for Queensland in Section 408D, obtaining or dealing with identification information. Well, really, what I would like to know is what are those sort of, facts about the legal terminology, the definition of those, and the legal concepts and processes. So we can get a lot of information out of this, of what obtaining and dealing with ID information is. By coming down in this section, dealing with identification information includes supplying or using the information. Digital signature means encrypted electronic or computer data, etc. So that's what we're trying to get through in this particular knowledge and understanding the law, defining those, describing those. So you would actually do that. So when we have a look, as part of those guidelines, that's what you need to do. We can see that here. Define identity theft. Describe the impact of identity theft through technology is happening through Australia today. Explain the current laws and the processes. That's effectively what you're doing in that particular criterion. When we go into investigating the legal issues, the orange highlights here are actually telling you what part is for that particular criterion. So you're going to select and organise your legal information from sources. So the types of cases or the types of sites that you're going to be referring to is very important when we're looking at that particular section there. When we come into the analysis of the legal situations and identify and examine the legal issues and the stakeholders' perspectives. So we're looking at here these sort of questions. Select and analyze a specific commercial situation involving identity theft through new technology. So what do we mean by analyze? So we're going to be looking at multiple different perspectives, right, of the particular case and identify and pick out of that particular case what was pertinent to the Criminal Code of 1899, or if you're doing the Criminal Code for the Commonwealth, what particular aspects was relevant for the particular case. And the third part here is applying those legal concepts. So applying things such as identification information. You're using that terminology in your assignment, right? So you're using any of that pertinent language that's coming from the legislation. And the last criterion, which is responding to the law, we can see here, it's the evaluate the law, make the decisions, and justify the decisions. So these are the four things that we need to be able to do when we're evaluating it, okay? Working out whether the law was fair, whether law was applied correctly in the case. You decide whether the law in relation to identity theft is effective in keeping pace with the changing technologies. So if your stance was originally at the start that you said that it wasn't protecting Australian citizens, well, you will have to decide using all of the information that you've looked at in the assignment as to whether it actually is keeping pace. So the next part is the recommendations, any changes. So these would be these pertinent recommendations that you would do to ensure that the law or the Australian government does protect Australian citizens. And finally, obviously justifying those decisions by using evidence. So finding references or quotes, in-text referencing to support all of that information. So again, making sure that you are pulling parts out of the legislation, using those keywords throughout your assignment so it actually sounds like a learned piece of writing, or in this case, in the multimodal, a learned piece of speaking. Good luck, and I hope this helps.